Welcome back to Healthy Home. So today I have all the things out to show you how to make a solid lotion bar and also gifting ideas, so make sure you stay to the end. First, I'm going to go ahead and measure out the ingredients, and the reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm going to go ahead and put it on the double boiler while we do the next step. So first I'm going to use this, and actually I could use this in the double boiler, and I just might. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our solids down below. I'm going to start off with the ingredients, which will be a beeswax or another wax, butters, either a combination or you can just use one butter, and I have shea butter here, and then a combination of oils. Very simple ingredients, and I'm not giving the exact recipe that I have in my ebook. That one has much more luxurious ingredients. I'm just going to do the basic ingredients, so just in case you did purchase the book and you wanted to know, am I sharing all of the details? I'm not. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with beeswax, and you'll have to check out the link below to get the recipe. And so I'm going to go ahead and measure it out. And it is quite a bit of beeswax, but I'm making quite a bit of the bars, and it always fluctuates. And we're doing just a little bit more. It always fluctuates, but you're gonna get about at least, say, 12 of the bars here. So this is a good amount of wax here. Now that you're making this for someone, you could definitely also use gloves or, you know, just clean wash hands, whichever one you prefer. Okay, so what kind of beeswax am I using? I'm just using 100% natural and yellow, and I use the little pellets. You could also get a bar and shave it for however much you need. All right, so now we're going to go into the butters, and I'm going to use two here. I have a shea butter, and I also have some cocoa butter. I don't know what my kids got on the jar, but I'll just give a little hint about when you're using cocoa butter. You don't want to use too much because it is a very thick, solid butter, much harder than your mango butter, shea butter, kukui butter, or other butters such as that. So just making sure I'm using the right amount here, and it's not very much. I think I probably actually am using this jar, so I'll just go ahead and get the bits out of here. A little extra won't hurt. And this one is from Now Solutions. It smells very chocolatey and delicious. And if you are a person that has dry skin, this is gonna go the extra mile. So I'm doing it like this. I'm layering the hard butters on the bottom, the softer butter, and then we'll have the oil on top, because that's how they're going to melt. The harder, I want to be closer to the heat. All right, and now we have our shea butter, and I'm just realizing that I didn't have this, so we'll see how it comes out, because I forgot that I did that. And let me go ahead and measure the shea butter out. Now, when you're getting your shea butter, just make sure that you get it from West Africa, specifically Ghana. And I do get the ivory and not the yellow, because from what I've learned from people, you know, from Africa, that the yellow is a different type of butter, similar to the shea tree, but it's a different tree, but they both work fine. So use what you want. And I have a little bit more here than I want, but you see, this is much more pliable and easy to break apart. For the cocoa butter, I actually use a knife and kind of like break it up and shape it. All right, so that's all the butters now. Here. And then I just wanted to use this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add this first, and then we're gonna add the oils in here. We're just gonna add them on top just until they're melted. That's it. It's really that easy. So now we're gonna get our oils in here, and just closing this up. And I love these little clips, so I'll go ahead and link those. These are just a lot easier than dealing with the other colored ones. They just seem to break so easily. So we're almost getting to the fun part. We're just gonna put our oils together. And so I'm going to, and I realized that I messed up the ratio. So I might just add a little bit more oils, and you use whatever oils you want. And so I'm using sunflower oil. I'm going to use some infused oil. So this is a yarrow infused sunflower oil, and this one is frankincense oil. And you just use however much you want of each of them. And there's a lot of the frankincense oil. I'm going to have to make some more, and I do have a video, so I'll go ahead and link that. And I do really want this yarrow infused oil, because yarrow is just a great herb that's vulnerary, helps with the healing. And that's definitely something I want. I want it to be just a very nice healing butter cream. All right, so let's see, do I want to add a little bit more? Add a little extra. Hopefully they're not too thick. Let me go ahead and add a teensy bit more. Okay. Just so they'll look a lot like the ones that you guys are making. So we're gonna go ahead and add that now. We're just gonna make sure we get every bit out. And I forgot to even turn it on, so it wasn't even melting. But it will melt very slowly if you just have the thick butters. And you can put it on high, and just until you hear it starting to whistle. You don't even need it on a boil. You can just do it low the whole time if you have time to spare. You don't want to cook this. You just want to melt it. All right, so now for the fun part. We're going to get our little containers ready. And so what I have here is just little muffin tins, and you can make little mini ones if you want it, but this is just standard size. The coffee liner really doesn't matter, the color or anything like that, because it's just going to help them so you don't have to touch them as much trying to get them out. And also so we can go ahead and put whatever we're gonna put to decorate these. And you could just keep the solid bars, and I do have some, or I should have brought some down, but I don't see them here. Yeah, I don't see them here. But we're going to show you different ways that you can spice this up as gifts. And I would just say go ahead and do the 12. If you have more left over, you can do it. You'll just add it to the flame because it will start to thicken right as it comes out. So the most beautiful element to add is some nice rose petals, and you can even put the leaves in there if you want to. But I'm gonna go for whole petals, and I want to cover the face of it. Now you don't have any weight in here. You want to just try to position it as perfect as you can for the oil to go on top. Because I really want this on top. Now you can also crush them if you want to and see how that goes. That was a little bit more than I really wanted bigger chunks. So you could crush this and then pick out the pieces that you wanted. And then you could go for a lighter rose just for the color as well. Like I like that. as opposed to the darker color. This one's a little bit cool, has some greenish in it, so I'd flip it down so that can show. And as I said, you could put a little green leaves in there if you want, just to make it stand out even more. So from what I'm seeing, I don't like this crushed look. I probably would do that with a different color. And so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna just use one of these as garbage. And I'll just dump this and go ahead and replace it. Well, let me go ahead and dump this out in the trash. So if you don't like it, it comes out easy. And you can see, you know, what you like. I'll leave this one here. But yeah, so I see which ones I like better. I like the lighter color, so I'm gonna do that. And then whatever side you like the best, if you want to showcase that, make sure that that is facing opposite direction from you. Okay, so simple, easy. All right, now you can mix other things in here with it. I'm not going to. I'm just gonna see what it looks like when you put more or less. See, more, and then this less. We'll see what we think looks the best, and the different colors here. All right, so next you can do something that's a little bit different. Maybe if you're gonna give it to someone that is a male, maybe we'll put bay leaves, and you just want to find the bay leaves that are not too huge so that they can fit in there. These are actually my own bay leaves from the tree. So we'll just do maybe 3. All right. And then I'm going to put some rosemary that I have. And we're just going to sprinkle. And I like rosemary because they're very green and they're big and they give a nice scent. So I'm just going to put it. You don't want to cover it on the bay leaf. So if you get it on the bay leaf, just go ahead and reposition. Like something like this, I'm going to have to push it in so that it stays where it's supposed to be. So you just kind of have to play around with it a little bit. And as I said, it doesn't have any weight. So, okay. I think that looks okay. Now let's do something different. I also do use powders just for exfoliation. And I want to add a little bit of salt to it because salt does give nice exfoliation too. Like if you ever had a salt scrub. And then, so I have the nice pink salt in here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of the cinnamon and kind of just swirl it around. Just a teensy bit. Just to see if it looks that you're going for. All right, so that's an example of one. And then the last one, I'm going to use some star anise. I like them because they're big and beautiful. Smell really divine. I think they're really striking. So I'm going to put one whole one. And I think that's beautiful by itself, but you can also surround it by some whole cloves. I think this one will probably be my favorite. And I can hear my water going. And as you can see, you play with this and you make it what you want. All right, so this is what I have for these two. And we're gonna go ahead and pour it on top once it's nice and melted. Making sure I get every last bit off. I'm gonna put this back. I'm gonna put this in small batches. I'm gonna put it in my mixing bowl. But this will solidify really fast. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit in here and go quickly. Oh, I said a little bit, but we'll see. All right. So I'm just gonna go pour, and whatever you pour it up to is how much it's gonna be. So I pour it up to the top. Oop. So I didn't make as much as I thought, and as you can see, it's already getting thicker. I'm just going to finish pouring what I have. Nope, it's not coming out. It's thick already. And so this is literally what happens just that quickly. So one thing is known, it will be thick enough to set. And this is how it will dissolve into the skin. Gives a little shine. And it smells like frankincense. Look at that. So actually, if I do want to make these, I'm going to have to make extra. All right, so let's say you looked at the process and you're saying, okay, this is something I want to do. It came out the way I want. One, how would you store this? So one of the ways that I like to store it was I cut little like cardboard pieces and I put them and layered them kind of like how you would if you were making sausage patties, or I would say hamburgers is what I was thinking of. How they have that little paper that divides. That's what I did just to make sure that they wouldn't stick, and I just layer them in the jar. So that's one way you can do this, and you can gift it this way. Another way, and because I know that it's holiday season coming around for a lot of people, I don't celebrate holidays, but this looks like very festive, like the little berries and everything. And so if you wanted to maybe gift this, then you can wrap it around in here. And I'll just show you guys what that would look like. And let's say you don't want to wait, you want this to go ahead and solidify quicker. Can you put this in the refrigerator? Yes, you could. All right. So here's one. And you could literally wrap it around like this. And you can put a little twine. And if you want to have like a little note, you could do that too. So you don't want to, like, this would be for a wintertime thing. If you wanted to keep it in your car, you don't want it to melt. And so this is one way you can do it. And you can also put these in a jar if you wanted to, like that. I think I will give that to someone. Now, let's say you say, can I use anything in place of the wax? So if you wanted to do that, you could use maybe more cocoa butter in place of the wax, and that will most likely work. I think that will really work well. You may have to go down a little bit on the oils. Now, let's say if you say, I don't have butters at all, do I have to use butters? And then you wouldn't either. You can increase the oil percentage, or you can maybe use, take the portion of the butters out and increase the portion of the wax, and then it would work fine. Now, let's say if you say, I don't have coffee liners. Well, you can make your own with a parchment or wax paper. These are not going into the oven, so it doesn't matter what, what temperature or whatever. It's just going to be boiling temperature. So you can go ahead, have little squares of this. You want to just make sure that you are covering the bottom. And as you saw, you want to, these are going to form in the shape that you put. So you want to make sure that you don't have any wrinkles or bulges in it. So I hope that will answer most of the questions that you guys have. And do let me know if you enjoyed this. All right, so this is the second batch I'm making. And just be careful when you're handling hot liquids. Use gloves if you need them, etc., etc. So here is what they look like. These are still very soft, and as you see, it's gonna take on this shape here. So you want to correct that. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead. Now these still could harden more, but I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? No, I see that I'm messing it up. So let it harden just a tad bit more. So now this is how one looks. You can flip it over and some of them will go ahead and come out. If not, you can kind of just try to push the edges in a little bit so it can come out easier. So you can definitely leave it like this, and when they're ready to use one, they can go ahead and peel it, and they would also be nice and separated. I would just still, of course, put like some little parchment paper or something so that each of these does stay individually perfect. And so for the ones that you want to gift, I'm just going to go ahead, and if you have some fancy twine that maybe is dyed, that could be nice too. And if you know how to do nice bows, this is I chose a really small little piece. I should have gotten one that's bigger. But you can also have a little note, and it's perfect for gift giving. So this is what it looks like. All right, so I'm looking at them here, and you want to use a glove so you don't mess it up. Let's see if any more of them want to come out. No, they don't. So, and you can take a little butter knife and kind of help it too. But if you are a little bit messy and you get some of the wax elsewhere, that can also make it want to stick a little bit more. So I'm just going to go along the edges and try to detach them a little bit, but you want to be careful. So here's one, and this one had some wax on the bottom, and so that's why it had an issue. So go ahead and put this one here. There we go. You just have to use a little bit of force. Now, if you did want to have an actual fragrance, you would add the essential oils in right before you go ahead and pour, because you don't want to kind of cook it and then lose some of the benefits. And definitely play around with this. Here we go. Yeah, it looks like all of them kind of had a little bit. And you can remedy this, which it could have just been it was hot and these are thin. You can add 2. Now, if you're making a lot of these and you're selling them and you don't want to have so much waste, even though this little paper can probably just be put into compost, but you wouldn't want to do that because it has oils in it. And so I would say use the silicone ones and just use them just for this, because they're gonna, whenever I use things for products, I just use it just for products usually, because it can be hard to get the little residue of oils and wax especially off. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So again, you can choose to store them in here with some either parchment or small. I always have boxes and stuff, and so it's really easy just to do this and to stack them up in the jar. And you just kind of drop it. And so it'll be fine, but you can see there's a little bit of oil or whatever. And so I wouldn't just put these on top because you don't want them to stick. So you just have your little parchment. And just be careful not to ruin them. There we go. Okay. And so this is how it will look. And just make sure that they're fully dry, which will be just what, 30 minutes tops, just to really make sure that you have it nice, perfect, and sleek. And if you like these kind of videos, make sure you subscribe or become a member. You can also download my ebook, which is down below, and check out my website. I do classes and courses to teach you guys much more about how to put herbs and natural remedies together. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.